Welcome to today's deep dive. So, at first glance, the Hall Technologies HT-HVM27-2K, it looks exactly like the standard monitor sitting on your desk right now. But then you see the price tag, which is, well, $1,430. Today, we are finding out why hospitals pay this massive premium for what they call medical-grade hardware. Like, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, it sounds completely absurd for a desktop monitor until you realize, you aren't buying a screen to just draft spreadsheets on. You're investing in a highly specialized tool designed for the, frankly, absolute chaos of a hospital environment.
Right, but I mean, I'm looking at these specs, and it reads like a gaming PC setup. We've got a 27-inch TFT LCD display, a 2K resolution, and a 3,000 to 1 contrast ratio. Why does a nurse's charting station need that kind of graphical horsepower?
Well, because in a medical setting, visual clarity is quite literally a matter of patient safety. Let's
Yeah.
take that contrast ratio you mentioned.
The 3,000 to 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That ratio means incredibly deep blacks and very bright whites. If a doctor is, say, glancing at an X-ray or a live feed on that screen, subtle differences in tissue densities don't just wash out into a single gray blob.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, every single pixel has to tell the exact truth.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more because the spec sheet specifically highlights a 178-degree viewing angle. A 178-degree angle means this isn't a laptop you have to be hunched directly over, right?
Exactly.
It's like having a window that looks perfectly clear whether you're standing right in front of it or, just glancing at it while rushing past a nurse's station.
Which is absolutely vital. Medical professionals are constantly moving around, consulting with each other, reacting to alarms.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If the screen distorts colors or loses brightness the second you step to the side, it's essentially useless and potentially dangerous in a fast-paced scenario.
But, okay, that visual precision is kind of useless if the screen gets destroyed during a chaotic ER shift. How does this hardware actually survive in a hospital setting? Because they list a 3H hard coating, which sounds pretty intense.
It has to be intense. A 3H coating means the screen is highly resistant to scratches. But more importantly, it can withstand being aggressively scrubbed down.
With like hospital-grade cleaners?
Yes, industrial-strength chemical cleaners multiple times a day without the display degrading or melting.
Wow, melting. Okay, that makes sense. And I see these massive certification numbers here, IEC 60601-1 and 6060112. What do those actually guarantee?
So those are rigorous international standards specifically for medical electrical equipment. Basically, they ensure two main things. First, electrical safety, so it won't shock a patient or the operator.
Always a plus?
Right, and second, electromagnetic compatibility. This monitor won't emit interference that could suddenly scramble a nearby EKG machine or, say, a patient's pacemaker. Plus, it's built to run for over 50,000 hours.
Wait, really? 50,000 hours is, well, that's nearly 6 years of running 24/7 without a break.
Exactly. They achieve that with industrial-grade internal components that manage heat far better than your average consumer electronics.
Got it.
A hospital just cannot afford a screen blacking out mid-procedure because a cheap consumer-grade capacitor overheated.
That actually brings up something I found really counterintuitive in the manual. Here's where it gets really interesting. It features lockable menu buttons. Why on earth would you want a feature that locks you out of adjusting your own screen settings?
Think about the risk of someone, even a well-meaning colleague, accidentally bumping the brightness down or changing the color balance.
Right, just fiddling with the button.
Exactly. When a doctor later looked at that screen to evaluate medical video, the baseline of that display has to be absolute.
Oh, I see.
By locking the physical buttons, once the monitor is perfectly calibrated, the hospital prevents accidental changes that could, compromise a diagnosis.
Wow. So when you realize the screen is built to survive chemical wipes, avoid pacemaker interference, and run flawlessly for 6 years straight with locked-in precision, that $1,400 price tag suddenly looks like cheap insurance.
It really does. It completely recontextualizes what we think of as standard equipment. I mean, it's a highly regulated, tamper-proof medical instrument that just happens to look like a computer monitor.
Next time you visit a hospital, take a look at the screens around you. If a simple desktop monitor requires rigorous international medical certifications and lockable buttons just to exist in that space, what other invisible safety rails are built into the everyday objects in our healthcare system? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.